Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade.
It seems like Dr. Umar Johnson has an announcement to make, a very important announcement to make. Apparently, the nigga's broke.
What?
And he needs your money. He needs your money bad to take care of himself and his mama. Unfortunately, the banks have shut him out. Could Miss Siobhan Stone be behind the bank shutout? Has she been blabbing her mouth to the feds about what is in those personal and FDMG bank accounts? Did she somehow get access to what was in those bank accounts and she went and dropped a dime? Did she and Lenon Honor access or attempt to access the accounts? Dr. Umar seems to have suspicion that Lenon Honor, someone who has been documenting the rise and fall and many ups and downs of Dr. Umar Johnson, and what some are describing as the scorned ex-lover, Siobhan Stone, did they try to access his personal and FDMG bank accounts? Did they successfully access those accounts? And do they have the evidence that Dr. Umar Johnson has not been on the up and up when it comes to the funds that he's collected on behalf of the FDMG school? Let's find out.
Intercontinental Ifatunde RB Jesus, coming to you live and direct from Philadelphia. I have a very important message. I'm only going to keep you about 5 minutes. I have a very important message. I'm only going to keep you about 5 minutes. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my continental Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Australian Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Caribbean Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Africans in Europe and Asia. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Brazil and my South American Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to Panama and Costa Rica, my Central American Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Canadian Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my New York, my Carolina, my Texas, my Phoenix, my Philly, my Jersey, my Maryland, my Baltimore, my Georgia, my Florida, my Arkansas, Alabama, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City Africans. It's your big brother King Kong. I need y'all to listen up. I got a very important announcement. I'm only going to keep you a few minutes. This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple dollars. This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple dollars. I logged into my account just to check my balance because I haven't done so since I left for South Africa back on July 10th. Only to discover that I could not log into my account.
As I'm watching him explain himself, I'm noticing that one of his eyes seemed a little swollen. This homie that called to collect his money, and it was discovered that Umar did not have any money because his accounts were allegedly frozen. Did they commence an ass whipping on the doctor?
I could not log into my account. So then I called the bank to find out what was going on. And the bank told me to enter my 16-digit card number. I did that. They told me they had no record of my account. The bank that I've been with since I was a teenager told me they had no record of my account. So then I called the bank. And the bank told me that my personal account as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account have both been frozen. Both bank accounts have been frozen. Both bank accounts have been frozen. And I was told that there is an investigation into my personal account as well as the school account. I asked them, was this due to suspicion of any fraud on my part? I was told that it was not due to suspicion of any fraud on my part, but I was told that it was due to suspicion of fraudulent activity. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access into my personal account and the FDMG account. Brothers and sisters, if you have sent a donation to FDMG, let's give it until the end of the month to see if this gets cleared up. They have given me no definitive timeline as to when their investigation will conclude. They have given me no definitive timeline as to when their investigation will conclude. If you have sent a check or money order donation to FDMG, let's wait until August the 1st, Black August, and see if this situation has gotten cleared up. They told me they sent me a letter to this point on July the 10th, the day that I left for South Africa. I was told that the timeline of suspicious activity was June 25th to July the 10th. I was told that the timeline for suspicious activity was between June 25th, that's when Medea went public. Everybody knows who Medea is. July 25th, that's when Medea went public. July the 10th, that's when I left for South Africa. July the 10th, that's when I left for South Africa. So y'all know my suspicion. I believe Medea and Pastor Bussy were fraudulently trying to get into my account. And if we find out that's the case, they will be sued and possibly arrested, because fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Again, June 25th to July 10th is the period of suspicious activity. That is from the time Medea went public and I left for South Africa. Between the time Medea went public and I went for South Africa. So brothers and sisters, if you want to make a donation to FDMG, you must send it to PayPal. Hold off on the checks and money orders until the situation is resolved. Hold off on all FDMG Academy money order and check donations until the situation is resolved. If you want to make a donation to FDMG, send it through PayPal. Right? PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. If you want to make a donation to the school, hold off on checks and money orders until we find out what the hell is going on. The bank is investigating the fraudulent attempts on our account. If I find out Medea and Pastor Bussy had anything to do with this, I was told that they can be arrested for federal offense. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, Dr. Umar has access to no money right now because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary. So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifatunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal. My personal PayPal account is Umar the Psychologist at yahoo.com. So that's paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, PayPal.me/UmArThePsychologist, PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist, or hit my Apple Pay using my cell number 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. I've never asked the people for $1. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I've only asked you to donate to the FDMG Academy for Boys. I don't have any sons. I have 2 daughters. So the FDMG campaign is a selfless project, mission, and service to provide our boys with the education that they deserve. But right now, I don't have any money because my account was frozen by my bank because someone has been trying to hack into my account, hack into FDMG Academy account. So the FDMG Academy account is frozen. My personal account is also frozen. That means we're going to lapse on our utility bills. We're going to lapse on our internet bill. We're going to lapse on a lot of our bills at FDMG. The bank is not giving me a timeline as to when this situation is going to be resolved. If I don't have Cash App, nor does FDMG have Cash App. I do not have a Cash App. I only have Apple Pay and PayPal. If you can spare a few dollars, send it to my Apple Pay, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858, or my PayPal, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist. Although Leo season is off to a rocky start, brothers and sisters, we will overcome. Shout out to all my donors, Newark.
Now, either he's telling the truth and the bank did freeze his accounts, which they do not do that just because someone tried to access your account. Okay, a lot of times people forget their PIN numbers or their user ID and passwords, and they fidget around trying to get into their own accounts. So that is nothing new or unusual. They're not going to do a full-fledged investigation and ring the alarm because someone tried to access your account. They're simply going to shut it down and issue you new debit cards or whatever, account numbers or whatever. Obviously, if he is telling the truth, there's some fraudulent activity investigations going on, all right? And it's not because somebody simply is trying to play peekaboo and peek into his account. Now, he's trying to insinuate that his ex-lover, Siobhan Stone, and Dr. Umar Johnson documentarian, Lenon Otter, were trying to peek into and access his personal and FDMG accounts. So he's implying that they were trying to snoop around and look around. And it is understandable. I'm sure Lenon Otter would love to have access to that because he has been saying that Umar Johnson is a fraud all these years. And obviously access to those bank accounts would be concrete proof if there has been some commingling of funds or mismanagement of funds. Siobhan Stone, she seems like she was on a woman-scorned warpath with this man when he decided that he and her were not compatible, and she decided that he and her were not compatible, and she seems like she is trying to burn the house down all around this man. So is it far-fetched to think that maybe she came across some personal account information about Dr. Umar Johnson or FDMG account information, and she may have tried to access his account or maybe looked at some bank statements or paperwork that may have come to the house, or maybe tried to go in and look at his accounts online, since a lot of things are paperless nowadays. So maybe she had to access the account online to look around in the account. I don't know. She does seem like the type of woman that would do something like that, because that woman snooped around every single nook and cranny of his mother's house. And she does seem like the type of woman that would try to do any and everything she can to get back at a man that no longer is in a relationship with her. It does seem like she wanted to keep the relationship with him going, and so when all shit hit the fan between the two of them, she is now on a warpath. At the same time, another scenario is he's just telling a fucking lie and no one froze anything. He looked like he was beat up, so he could have went when he got back from South Africa. We may have went back to Philadelphia, went on a drug binge, spent up his money, got beat the fuck up, and now he's on the internet begging for money. You decide. Let me know. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you're so motivated to do so. This is Wonders of a Black Woman. Peace.
New Jersey, I'ma see you. Nat Turner, I'ma see you. Mobile, Alabama, I'ma see you. New Orleans, Louisiana, Hurricane